Many would assume that being the child of Elon Musk, one of the world's richest and most influential figures, is a rare and enviable privilege. But for his son, XAE 12 Musk, the reality appears far more complex. Elon Musk, often described as a real-life Tony Stark, is a visionary entrepreneur whose bold ventures have disrupted entire industries. From pioneering electric vehicles through Tesla to transforming space exploration with SpaceX, his fingerprints are found across the frontiers of modern technology. In recent years, Musk has expanded his influence beyond engineering and into the realm of politics, rarely hesitating to voice controversial opinions, unlike many of his billionaire peers who prefer to remain in the background. But with extraordinary success has come extraordinary scrutiny. Musk's life has often played out under a global spotlight. Not only his innovations, but his personal decisions, his relationships, and his role as a father. Now, that same spotlight seems to follow his son, XAE 12. In May 2020, the world turned its attention to Musk and Canadian musician Grimes as they welcomed their first child together. The birth was casually announced on Twitter, in typical Musk fashion. When asked for updates, he responded simply, "A few hours away," followed later by, "Mom and baby all good." But the real story began with a single question. What's his name? Musk's reply, XAE 12, sent the internet into a frenzy. Grimes stepped in to explain. The letter X stood for the unknown variable, frequently used in science and mathematics. A symbolized artificial intelligence and love, drawing from Old English and Nordic influences. The A12, a nod from Musk, referred to the Archangel 12 aircraft, a precursor to the SR-71 Blackbird. Grimes described it as great in battle but non-violent. The name also held personal meaning. The A was a tribute to Archangel, a track by British electronic artist Burial, one of Grimes's favorites. Pronunciation soon became another mystery. Grimes offered one version, X, like the letter, followed by AI. Musk, speaking on the Joe Rogan Experience, had a different interpretation. X, the letter, A, pronounced Ash, and A12, that was my contribution. But beyond public intrigue lay a legal complication. Under California law, names on birth certificates must use only the 26 letters of the English alphabet. Numerals and symbols are not allowed. The couple compiled by modifying 12 to its Roman numeral form, C. Grimes later remarked that the revision actually looked more elegant. Yet from the beginning it was clear, this child was never destined for a conventional life. Musk, an outspoken critic of traditional schooling, created Ad Astra, a private experimental school designed to nurture innovation through hands-on problem-solving and creative thinking. X, now a student there, is growing up in a world shaped by his father's ideals, one that challenges the norm and embraces the future. When his name was first unveiled, it seemed almost too unusual to be real. But in recent years, a subtle shift has taken place. As artificial intelligence, space travel, and digital realities become embedded in daily life, tech-inspired names are no longer outliers. They're becoming part of a new naming frontier. As XAE 12 grows, the world watches with a mix of curiosity and anticipation. Will he inherit his father's appetite for risk and invention? Will he be drawn to the arts, like his mother? Or will he choose a path uniquely his own? Whatever the future holds, one thing is already certain. His name has made a lasting impression. Unlike many public figures, Musk has never hidden his son from the spotlight. X has been a visible presence at major events, press appearances, and even high-profile interviews. This decision to share their bond so openly has sparked both praise and concern. To some, it is a glimpse of a devoted father, perhaps one trying to offer his child the connection he himself lacked growing up. Musk has spoken candidly about his own lonely and difficult childhood, Now some believe he's doing everything he can to ensure X never feels that same sense of isolation. But there may be another layer to this openness. Public perception matters. Experts suggest that Musk's visible parenting may serve more than a personal purpose. It may also be a strategic one. Dr. Kurt Braddock, a professor of public communication at American University, notes that projecting the image of a caring parent is a familiar move in the world of public influence and politics. For a man often labeled as eccentric and enigmatic, fatherhood may help soften the edges of his persona. In the eyes of the public, Musk may be a tech icon, a disruptor, even a provocateur. But to XAA12, he is something far simpler and far more profound. He is Dad. For Elon Musk, showcasing his son in public may serve more than just a sentimental purpose. In an era where Musk is frequently entangled in both personal and professional controversies, these father-son moments often redirect public attention, offering a softer, more relatable image of the tech titan. Observers have noted a deliberate pattern. Musk's decision to bring XAE12 to high-profile gatherings has sparked both curiosity and critique. One moment in particular drew widespread attention. A photograph taken during a meeting with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, a leader known for his firm grip on power and contentious political stance. In the photo, Musk's young son sits atop his shoulders, a boy in a tailored blazer standing out amidst a sea of corporate formality. To some, it was a statement. To others, simply a father keeping his son close. Yet for many critics, these public appearances serve a more strategic function. Distractions from the deeper criticisms Musk frequently faces. Regardless of the motive, one thing is clear. The relationship between Musk and his son is both highly visible and emotionally complex. That visibility is thrown into sharper relief when contrasted with another relationship, one marked not by presence, but by absence. Musk's older child, Vivian Jenna Wilson, legally changed her name and publicly severed ties with her father. A transgender woman, Vivian cited deep emotional rifts and a lack of acceptance, choosing to remove Musk from her life entirely. It's a painful contrast. One child embraced by the spotlight, the other walking away from it entirely. This emotional divide reveals the layered, often difficult terrain of Musk's family life. Musk has spoken candidly about his sorrow over the estrangement from Vivian. He attributes the rift, controversially, to what he calls the woke mind virus. For some, this explanation rings hollow. For others, it reveals the tech mogul's struggle to reconcile his personal convictions with his role as a father. Some observers believe that Musk's very public bond with X may be more than just affection. It could be a form of emotional coping. Whether consciously or not, Musk may be reaffirming his paternal identity or attempting to reclaim a connection lost in the wake of Vivian's departure. To Musk, X is more than just his youngest child. He is a symbol of legacy, of futurism, of a life shaped by technology and global influence. Musk, a man who speaks frequently of interplanetary colonization, artificial intelligence, and humanity's future, seems to project many of those hopes onto his son. But what truly drives Musk's connection to X? Is it pure paternal love, a carefully curated public narrative, or an unspoken grief for what was lost with Vivian? The answer remains elusive. What's undeniable is this. X occupies a central place in Musk's personal mythology. A recent moment further captured public attention. Shared on Musk's own social media platform, X, formerly known as Twitter, a short video showed a striking exchange between father and son. Musk posed a question. "What should I do?" The young boy replied without hesitation, "Save America." Smiling, Musk asked, "And do what?" With simple conviction, the boy answered, "Help." The clip went viral. Supporters praised the child's wisdom, calling the moment heartfelt and revealing. Some even joked that the boy showed more clarity than many world leaders. But critics pushed back, questioning whether such words reflected understanding or mere repetition of phrases heard at home. Regardless of the interpretation, the moment revealed something profound: the extent to which Musk's worldview is already shaping his son. Unlike many children of the ultra-famous who are shielded from public view, X exists in full visibility. Whether seated on his father's lap during interviews or appearing at global events, X isn't simply along for the ride. He's a visible part of Musk's message. As Elon Musk continues to champion bold, often controversial visions of the future, his son walks beside him, not in the shadows, but in the spotlight. A child born of ambition, innovation, and global intrigue. And so, the story of XAE-12 continues to unfold, part child, part symbol, and wholly watched by a world eager to see what comes next. Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter, now rebranded simply as X, was driven by a singular belief: the public square must remain free from centralized control. It was a move hailed by some as a defense of free speech and condemned by others as reckless. In this charged landscape, a brief, candid exchange with his young son added unexpected resonance. "What should I do?" Musk asked. The boy's reply was simple: "Save America." To Musk's followers, it was a moment that encapsulated a worldview, succinct, symbolic, and striking. But beneath the viral clip lay a larger question. Is XAE-12's growing presence in his father's public life the result of organic closeness or strategic design? Some analysts suggest it's the latter. Much like political figures who introduce their children during campaigns, Musk may be using these moments to humanize an otherwise polarizing image. In an era of skepticism toward the ultra-wealthy, fatherhood offers something more approachable, more real. Whether intentional or not, the effect is palpable. At just 4 years old, X has become a fixture in high-level settings, environments more familiar with policy debates and boardroom strategies than the playful distractions of childhood. His presence alone sparks conversation, often extending far beyond his years. Will he one day walk in his father's footsteps? Inherit the empire built on electric dreams, interstellar ambitions, and digital revolution? Or might he forge a new path, perhaps one influenced not by technology, but by global discourse and the human stories behind it? For now, his impact is undeniable. In fleeting words and silent appearances, X has already left a mark, eliciting smiles, raising eyebrows, and igniting debates. His mere existence in Musk's world feels at once deeply personal and globally symbolic. But beneath the headlines and viral moments lies a quieter, far more intimate story. A shadow cast long ago by loss. Before X, there was Nevada Alexander Musk. Elon and his then-wife Justine welcomed their firstborn with the same hopes shared by parents the world over. But those dreams were cut short. At just 10 weeks old, Nevada died unexpectedly. The cause, sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. It remains one of the most haunting tragedies in medicine. SIDS strikes without warning, robbing healthy infants of life in their sleep. There are no cries, no signs, just silence. Risk factors exist, but the cause remains elusive. Statistically, baby boys are more vulnerable than girls. Still, no medical certainty can prepare a parent for such a loss. For Elon and Justine Musk, the pain was unimaginable. In an instant, they were no longer new parents, but survivors of an unthinkable grief. The promise of a future with Nevada was replaced by a silence that would echo through their lives. Elon Musk, a man renowned for tackling some of the world's most complex problems, rarely speaks of this chapter. The man who talks openly about colonizing Mars, designing brain-machine interfaces, and reshaping global infrastructure remains nearly silent about the wound that likely cuts the deepest. But in 2018, that silence briefly broke. In an email exchange with James Riley, a grieving father whose teenage son had died in a Tesla crash, Musk responded with rare vulnerability. "There is nothing worse than losing a child." In that moment, the tech mogul became something else. Not an innovator, not a billionaire, just a father, living with a loss that never truly fades. Today, when Musk lifts his young son onto his shoulders, brings him into boardrooms, or lets him speak into cameras, it may be more than image. It may be memory. A silent tribute to the child he lost, and the one he now holds closer than most will ever understand. It is a bond shaped not only by legacy and ambition, but by love, sorrow, and the enduring complexity of being a father in full view of the world. It was a rare and unfiltered glimpse into Elon Musk's private sorrow, one not built on speculation, but etched in lived experience. He shared it in 7 devastating words. "My firstborn son died in my arms." A sentence heavy with finality, with grief no parent should ever know. In that moment, the image required no further elaboration. A father, cradling his child as life slips away. Though Musk seldom revisits this heartbreak publicly, those close to the story believe Nevada's death marked a profound turning point, one that would shape the man the world now knows. Some say it became the fuel behind his ambition, an attempt to outrun pain through progress. Others see it as the quiet engine behind his most intimate role, that of a father determined never to take time for granted again. Today, Musk's visible bond with his young son, XAE-12, known simply as X, is far more than a headline. It is perhaps a quiet tribute to the son he lost, a reflection of love preserved through presence. Where once there was silence, now there is a child's voice. Where once there was loss, now there is laughter, curiosity, and the unmistakable imprint of a father's second chance. Musk's first child with artist and musician Grimes is the first of 3 they now share. From the moment his name was revealed, it sparked global fascination and confusion. With its cryptic symbols and futuristic design, XAE-12 defied every convention, immediately becoming a lightning rod for mockery, memes, and philosophical debate. But Musk and Grimes have never followed the rules. Together, they inhabit a world of radical ideas and sci-fi aesthetics, where music, technology, and metaphysics converge. Even their children's names feel like extensions of that vision. When they introduced their second son, Techno Mechanicus, the internet once again erupted, unsure whether to laugh, applaud, or simply wonder at what the future holds. Yet behind the spectacle lies a deeper question. What is it like to grow up with a name that feels more machine than man? Names carry weight. They shape perception, identity, even destiny. Will these children embrace the symbolism, or will they someday long for something simpler? In an era where celebrity baby names stretch from North to Psalm, Musk and Grimes have taken things a step further. Their children's names don't just break tradition, they challenge our very understanding of identity. XAA-12, Techno Mechanicus, Exa Dark Side Rel. These are names not born of family lineage or cultural heritage, but of concept, code, and cosmic wonder. To their parents, they are not just names, they are philosophies. Each one a message to the future, rooted in the possibilities of artificial intelligence, interstellar life, and post-human evolution. Musk builds rockets to Mars. Grimes sings of cyborgs and quantum fields. Together, they are raising children meant to inhabit the future they dream of. And so, these children are more than offspring. They are emblems of a world to come. Still, childhood is not made of symbols. It is made of laughter, of awkward questions, of learning who you are. As X and his siblings grow, they will have to answer not just to the world, but to themselves. Will they find pride in their name's origins, or choose to rewrite the story? Whatever path they take, one fact is already written into history. They will never be forgotten. Their names have entered the public consciousness as provocations, possibilities, and reflections of a changing world. And whether XAA12 one day embraces the memes or seeks to escape them, one thing remains true. He is part of a story much bigger than any name.